Hello everyone, this is Lay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited that you're here joining me, and I'm super excited to play with some brand new inks. These are the Distress Oxide. I've purchased this from Joann's when they had a really good deal. They had a good sale for their stamping products. Distress Oxide from Ranger and Tim Holtz are not new to the market. This has been out for a while now, but these are new to me. I have been so inspired lately, these last couple of days, by some great, amazing mixed media artists that it took me to wanting to try these new products. I've seen a lot of people using it with card making, with their scrapbook layout, with their art journal, mixed media journals, and I said I finally bit the bullet and I said, okay, I'm going to try it. So these are the newest Ranger Distress Oxide, but again, not new in the market, but new to me. I had the chance to play with some Distress ink before when I was doing some card making, and I've loved them. I really love them. So I am not new to the Distress line. I've had the Distress markers as well. So what it is that you can play with these. These are ink pads, see? So you'll see like it's just, for stamping, but you're wrong. You can use it for so many things. So anyways, Distress ink are dye-based formula, okay? And now the new formula with the Distress Oxide are a mixture of pigment and dye. With dye inks, the inks usually absorb into the paper, but the Distress Oxide will have pigment and a little bit of dye, and what it does is that it sits on top of the paper. And I've also did a lot of research watching videos, from many different artists, and Tim Holtz himself, he talked about that there's no chalk. There's no chalk into this new formula, because the reason to that is that when it dries, it seems like there's a chalky finish to it, more like a suede velvety finish. But he said that there's no chalk in the formula. It's just a pigment and the dye ink. And I have to say that if you've ever tried the Distress ink before, I think that you will find the Distress Oxide much easier to work with when it comes to blending. And I've tried both of them. I think the difference, other than the formula itself, the difference from the look visually, I think that the Distress ink are much more saturated in color, much more vibrant, but I'm not sure if it's just the colors that I've chosen. Both inks or both formulas reacts with water. So I've also purchased the Distress sprayer from Ranger and Tim Holtz, and I've actually haven't tried this yet because it just came in yesterday, so I'm super excited to try it. Today I am going to create some swatches of my new Distress Oxide, and I'm going to film the process, although I'm not going to be talking while I'm doing this, so I can concentrate on on what I'm doing, because sometimes I get really distracted when I'm doing the video and then doing something. It's just sometimes it gets difficult. So what I'll do is I'll just film the process and then maybe put some relaxing background so you can see, and then we'll show some samples of how it's going to react in water, so you can just see the look, the visual of these new ink pads. I'll talk to you guys again by the end of the video. Enjoy the swatches. Okay, all right, that was super duper fun. I really enjoyed doing all those swatches. And as you've seen, while I was doing the swatches, some of the inks were left in the craft mat. And so what I did was just sprayed some water and cut some watercolor papers again, and then just kind of just placed my paper on top, and then just kind of swirled it around to kind of create that ombre look, which is super pretty. Then while I was drying this one with a heat gun, in the process I was also spritzing some water. So as you can see, this is the oxide, which is that reaction to the water that creates those, look at that, those little things like that. The oxidation of that ink is beautiful. So with this particular one, I did the cracked pistachio and another purple one, but it wasn't as vibrant as I wanted it to be. So when I was doing other colors, I decided to dip this paper again. Instead of swirling, I just placed it on top and just kind of added some pressure to it, but not too much, and then just lifted it up. And then I didn't heat it. I didn't heat set it with the heat gun. I just let it dry by itself. But look at this. So as you can tell, you can get many different looks, many different results from these inks by just playing around with it, and I don't think anything is, you can do, I don't think that you can mess it up, as long as, of course, you understand the color theory, because sometimes if you mix some of the colors that doesn't go well together, you can create this muddy look and it's not pretty. So just play around with it. Don't be afraid to play around and just explore what you can do. But this time, before I leave you guys, I want to do one thing, which is the blending, when using the sponge tool. So we're going to pick up two colors that would look great together. I think the festive berries and the fossilized amber would look great together. So we're going to do that. So these two. So I'm going to just set them aside, my swatches. I'll let them dry, and then I'll put the name of those in the back. Okay. So I would usually use two different sponges because you don't want to cross-contaminate the colors. But I don't have any more free sponge. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use a sponge dauber, is what it's called, because this is a tiny one that you will just put here while you're holding it, okay? So I'm going to use the big one for the fossilized amber. Okay, so as you notice, I started from the outside of my paper and was just building my color in. And I'm just going light and smooth and just kind of swirling it around like this. Very light and smooth. And then this time I'm going to use the sponge dauber and then use my festive berries. All right. I don't know how this one's going to work because it's much smaller, but same process. I'll start from the outside of the paper and just go in smoothly and lightly and do this circular motion. Now I want to add a little bit more of the fossilized amber. I kind of want to blend in the orange much better. So I'm just going to go back in. I didn't dip this in the ink pad anymore, so I'm just picking up the color that was left over from earlier, and I'm just going to go over and then just make the gradient much more better, the blending of the two colors. I think using a much bigger brush helps much better, so you might want to think about that. I think I'm going to invest in more sponges and more blending tool so that I don't have to change my sponge all the time. That is beautiful. That is super pretty. I love it. So this sprayer, mister, water bottle, it has two settings. So if you kind of press it like really tiny, you create some droplets like that. All right, so you'll just create droplets. But if you really spray it, then you will create a mist. So you can use it two ways: a very light mist, or you can create some droplets. All right, I'm going to create just little droplets here and there. I have heavy hands, so it's difficult for me because I am ending up doing the mist. Okay, so now that, see the reaction? I'm gonna put this, and I'm just gonna dab real quick, and then I'm gonna lift up this one. And so here you have this different look, and we can heat set this, and I'll do the same process I did earlier. While heat setting it, I'm going to start spraying again. All right, and so as you can see, we could have just left it earlier with the blended look, which was more vibrant, more saturated in colors. Or you can always take it to the next level and play around with your water, and you will get a different look every single time. So again, if you have any question about this product, I will try my hardest to get back with you and give you an answer. But I'm super excited to learn even more how I can expand and use these products in my creative projects. I do hope that you enjoy this video. Thank you for joining me, and if you did, I do hope you give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.